Greetings, boys and girls from Faith Bible Fellowship Church. This is Pastor Wes again with
Theo, T-H-E-O.
and
Simon, S-I-M-O-N.
And we are excited to share chapter 8 with you today from John Bunyan's book, Pilgrim's Progress. And this version has been rewritten by Anna Tremieux. And today we are in chapter 8, Hopeful Joins Christian. So it sounds like Christian's going to meet a new friend today. You guys ready? Simon, you ready? All right, chapter 8, Hopeful Joins Christian. Christian walked away from Vanity Fair, but he wasn't alone for very long. A man named Hopeful left Vanity to catch up with Christian. He had seen and heard Christian and Faithful. He knew they spoke the truth and decided to go over to their side. He met up with Christian and promised to be his companion on the narrow way. They walked along and soon came to a man named Mr. By-Ends. "Where are you from?" they asked. "I'm from the town of Fair Speech," he said. "My friends and family are very rich and have a very comfortable life." By-Ends was a proud man and loved his high position and easy life in a town where, sad to say, people tell lies all the time. Is it good to tell lies?
No.
By-Ends continued, "In Fair Speech we are very religious, but not as strict as some people are. We don't believe in a religion that means you have to go through hard or dangerous things. And we like being religious when life is really easy, especially when other people approve of us."
Who's that?
We'll get to him in a second. Now, Christian had read in the Bible about people who are not the king's true servants. So he said, "We can't travel together then. If you go with us and follow the king, you must go through hard times as well as easy. And you must be willing to follow Christ, whether you are poor or rich." "Don't force me to believe the way you do," said By-Ends. "Let me walk with you and do what I want." "Not a step further, unless you change your ways," Christian said firmly. "Very well then," answered By-Ends. "Go on alone. I'll follow what I believe and wait until someone comes along who thinks like me." Soon, By-Ends was joined by 3 friends from his school days. You ready to hear his friends' names? Mr. Moneylove, Mr. Hold On to the World, and Mr. Save All. Their teacher, Mr. Greitman, had taught them how to cheat, lie, steal, and pretend to be religious. These friends used their reason to twist God's word, to defend the wrong things they believed. "Who are those men?" By-Ends' friends asked. They are pilgrims," replied By-Ends, "but not our sort. If you disagree with them, they won't have anything to do with you. And they follow their king in all kinds of weather. They risk their lives for God and stay on the path even when it's dangerous. I prefer to wait for good weather and to make sure that I am always safe." By-Ends and his friends caught up with Christian, and Hopeful called out, "Let's talk some more. What's wrong with using religion and acting religious so we can get rich and have an easy life, if that's the only way we can do it?" Christian said clearly, "Having money isn't a sin, but it's wrong to go after Christ because you hope that you'll get rich by following him. Only those who truly are against him would try to do that." The men were shocked at his answer and said nothing. They didn't walk with Christian and Hopeful anymore. Christian and Hopeful kept going across a plain called Ease, where they traveled in peace. Soon afterward, they came to a hill called Lucre. That means like money. A man named Demas cried out, "Come over here and I will show you a rich silver mine. With a little hard work, you may get rich. Let's go and see," said Hopeful as he started to turn off the path. But Christian pulled him back. "No," he said, "I've heard of this place. The ground is shaky. Many have fallen into the mine and have been badly hurt or killed." Then he called to Demas, "Isn't the place dangerous?" "No, not really, if you're careful," said Demas, turning red because he was lying. Please come over and see, he added with a quick smile. But Christian said firmly, your silver mine is a trap for those who go after it. You've turned away from the narrow path, and you're an enemy of the king. Beside, the king would hear the news if we left the narrow path for you, and we would be ashamed when we see him. Demas kept calling out to them to come over, but the pilgrims went on their way. They said, I bet Bunyan and his friends will go to Demas. Sure enough, a little while later, Bunyan and his friends came up and went right over to Demas. They were never seen again. Perhaps they fell into the pit or died in the bottom of that mine. So Christian and Hopeful came to a place where a strange white statue of a woman stood by the roadside. Her face was turned away from the path. Written on her head were the words, Remember Lot's wife. I know what this is, Christian said. God turns Lot's wife into a pillar of salt for disobeying his instructions, not to look back when the wicked city of Sodom was destroyed. She is both a warning and an example to us. Hopeful realized, I'm glad we didn't go off the path when Demas called us. We can thank God for warning us, and we must never forget it. Then the narrow path went right along the bank of a lovely river. There were trees with delicious fruit and a pretty green meadow filled with lilies and beautiful flowers. God had put this delightful place here for pilgrims who had been through many hard trials. Christians and Hopeful, tired from all their travels, rested in this peaceful spot. It's okay. While they drank cool water from the river, they ate fruit. They used the tree leaves God provided for medicine. They sang songs of joy and praise to the king. And each night they lay down in the meadow and slept safely. After many days and nights of rest, food, and peace, the pilgrims felt strong and healthy once more. So they went on their way, leaving the beautiful valley behind. And next week, boys, we're going to see one of your favorite chapters. Chapter 9, Giant Despair and the Doubting Castle.
And he meets Giant Despair.
He meets a man named Giant Despair.
Yeah.
Can you say, we'll see you next time?
See you next time.
Later, guys.
Later.